Hey everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So this is going to be another machinist tool pick find. This is a pick from down in Rhode Island. This is a estate of a former, I believe he was a tool and die maker originally. He had passed away, and a fellow tool and die maker was helping the widow liquidate the estate. They had put an ad up on Facebook Marketplace. I responded to the ad, made arrangements to go down and meet with the gentleman and check out what was there and make an offer on the lot. So I ended up buying the whole lot, ended up giving $300 for the whole lot. Actually, it was $310 because on my way out the door while we were loading, they accepted my $10 offer for this vintage shop stool. I just liked the looks of it, and I figured I'd use it here in the workshop. Just a quick note, I thought it was kind of interesting that this is marked ENG period. That tells me that this once belonged in the engineering department of somewhere and it eventually made it to this guy's house, and now it's here at my shop. So this is going to be some items that were out on a table when I got there in the garage. A oak toolbox with contents, another old wooden machinist chest with contents, and then the contents from a third box that was a home-built wooden box that the guy who got me into the estate, he said that he really liked the box, so we all three of us agreed that since I didn't have a real interest in the box, only the contents, that he could just keep that box and take it. And then also there was this nice 6-inch drill press vise. It's the typical import, but it's clean as a whistle, no damage on it. There is some kind of a, like almost kind of a casting number or something on it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a generic 6-inch drill press vise. Also, there was this little sucker right here. Well, let's take a look at this on the bench. So I didn't put much value into either one of these vices, but this is actually a nice handy size and style of vise. I have one. I had one like this that was a Craftsman. I think I sold. Or I might have kept that one. I don't remember. And then, of course, I've got the Palmgren version of this vise. This one, I can't quite figure out who makes it. You know, it's not a homemade one. You can tell by the castings here. I cleaned up the rust right here so I could try and see what the heck it says there, but I can't make it out. I don't know, I think that might be upside down. This might be right side up. So does anybody recognize that name? No? We got a couple little marks here, oopsies on it, but, you know, be a good little beater vise for somebody. Not even so much a beater vise, really cleaned up. It's nothing wrong with it. And here's yet another vise that I really didn't pay much attention to. I can almost guarantee that's an import. Got the plastic handle on it. You know, but that'll be a nice little vise. Probably not even worth it for me to bother trying to ship this. This will be something I'll wait until one of the local guys comes to pick something else up and offer it to him dirt cheap. Or I'll keep it if I have to. I mean, it's not a bad looking little vise, really. So I believe this box right here is the contents of the toolbox that I left there with him. So we got just a bunch of taps and a couple of dies. There's a nice sized tap wrench, long handles on it. Yeah, manufacturer of this wrench was so proud. It's completely unmarked. Figured no sense in leaving it there. My kid is always borrowing mine, and I make him always put it back in my drafting set. Yeah, that's right. I got a drafting set. I went to school. Back when I went to college, we were still doing drawing. What's in this secret case? Bunch of small taps. Here's an oldie. Card number 1 from Greenfield, Massachusetts. Skinny 12-inch Craftsman scale. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a brown and sharp. Starrett unmarked, general, needle file, general 180 tap wrench, unmarked. Oh, that's a beauty. That's the Sterit 19A. That's a good little tap wrench right there. Good money. Here's another general. This is the Something Company of USA, number 00, and then there's a logo that has a V with a small C in it. Alright, looked at it under better magnification and clearly see it's a J.M. Carpenter of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, USA, number 00. Can't find a value for it online. Only can find one tap wrench with the same number from this company. Currently asked price for that on eBay is $30. It's the only one, and there are no sold ones. So I don't know. Maybe I'll end up just keeping it. It's a nice little size. This was originally part of a tap and die set. Alright, I think this is the last of the scales, at least from this box. Unfortunately, a lot of these are engraved with the former owner's name. This just says Made in the USA. Here's another Brown and Sharp. And this is an Omega Tools. Alright. Ah yes, more calipers. Some Sterit Dividers. Starrett outside. Early Starrett inside calipers. These have a patent date 1885 on them. Oh, very early. Athol Machine Company. Those are collectible. June 2nd, 1885 patent date on these Starretts. Another early collectible. Another Athol Machine Company. Dividers. And that's a small pair of Sterit Dividers. Ooh, I wonder if this is the size that I don't have. So this is interesting. I do have a pair this size, but notice there's quite a difference in the design. There's a subtle difference in the screw, the nut on the screw. There's also an unusual little way that this is attached. This top piece is attached on this one as opposed to this one. Also, the way that it's marked is different. This one is, marked with the more typical, LS Starrett Company, Athol, Massachusetts, USA, whereas this pair is just marked Starrett, nothing else. I'm wondering if that would indicate that that is an earlier pair. No point in leaving anything behind that's worth anything. This is a Bondus hex driver, 3/16. Some little cutters. I held them up to the light. They look good. Don't look like they've been abused. This little pair of needle nose, which are in excellent condition, are marked Germany on one side and Damascus on the other, so I guess that would mean Damascus steel, right? And then another set of these little diagonal cutters. These are Exolite. Exolite was a good manufacturer of electronics tools, hand tools for the electronics industry. Little general hardware pocket scale with the little shirt clip. Oh, I've had one of these before. This is an early general caliper. File. Inspection mirror. Oh, this is the general hardware. 557 inspection mirror. That's cool. And this little honey right here is nice. This is a little Brown and Sharp square. Oh, I'm sorry. This is an LS Starrett, Athol, Massachusetts. Marked hardened. This will be a good little sale item. So number 61. So it looks like it's a... That makes that a 4-inch. Turn this in there. Loosen that up. Alright, so what's the deal? I don't get it. There's no groove in here, so why would you want to be able to loosen this just to do that little tiny bit of movement? I bet you the Starrett catalog will probably tell me, and then I won't look like such an idiot. I could even edit out all that I just said and then say, oh, well, this is a number 61 Starrett. Oh, many of you probably have no idea what this is. This is a Starrett number 61 reliable tri-square. It's ungraduated, and it has a special bolt that allows you to remove the blade so that you can regrind the blade and the base here as necessary. Oh, look at this little honey. Tool maker's vise. These little itty bitty vices bring pretty decent money if they're a brand name, and this one is. This one's a Starrett, so glad to see that in there. I had seen it in there, but I couldn't see what the name was on it. I just kind of did a quick perusal of that box. This box didn't have a lot that caught my eye. A couple of items. There's a big old parallel clamp, shop made, completely unmarked. Here's another one. There's a couple of scribers for hard metals, made in Germany. These look like wires, but I can feel that they are abrasive. Like they're almost like super tiny round files. Top of the label's missing, so I can't quite make out the name of the company. It looks like FBCP, made in Germany. No, they're not files at all. They're blades. They're blades for a saw. Hand saw, by the looks of it. I'm guessing, I don't know. I think there was a small scroll saw, power scroll saw on the table there. That's probably what those go to. Oh, here's a nice find. It's a Brown and Sharp 554. I think this is called a die maker's square. And I think last time I had one of these, it brought pretty decent money. One I had was a little bit different than this one, I think. That's a cute little square. Got the usual random... Oh, those are 52,000 drills. It's something. 1032, it must be a tap. Niagara cutter. Looks brand new. Here's the rest of the parallel clamps that were in there. Another no name engraved, and the only factory marked one of the bunch. It's a Brown and Sharp 754B. That's a cute little clamp. Tiny drill bit set, Shanghai, China. Actually, still some in there. Don't know what we got here. Some random unidentified little pieces. A fishtail. Cassier Machinery Company of Providence, Rhode Island. Oh, so that's that's almost like a advertising premium. Buy a lathe from us and we'll give you one of these to remember us. Here's a Starrett 178A thread pitch gauge and a Starrett number 6 thread pitch gauge. There's some little random bits in here. Oh, hold on. We do have something. Some dies, some drills, some random stuff. But this is nice. This is a Lufkin rule hermaphrodite caliper. I have never had a Lufkin branded hermaphrodite caliper, I don't think. In fact, I was just talking to one of my buyers today who likes Lufkin stuff. Offered him the Lufkin dividers that I just picked up at the last estate. He passed on them. Maybe I'll have better luck interesting him in these hermaphrodite calipers. I don't know what this is. A Welsh screwdriver, I think, with the tips broken off. What's great about these is you can just unscrew it and take that out, I think. And this one's a General Hardware. This is a horse of a different color. This is just marked France. So this is an interesting pin vise Check it out. You get this knurled collar right here, right? And it looks like you just pull back on that, and that releases the jaws. Actually, it's not a pin vise at all, because this has got some kind of stop on it that's not allowing it to come all the way out. It's just a sharp stylus, almost like for marking something. Anybody know what that is used for? Interesting. All right, so next up is this really old Machinist Chest. I ended up taking this with the contents. I mainly wanted the contents. It is kind of a neat old chest, but I don't know whether or not it's going to be worth it for anybody to put any work into restoring this. I'm not sure what kind of wood is underneath here, but the vinyl overlay is peeling off. It's in kind of rough shape. But the front is here and it's intact, which is kind of nice. It's got the original lock. It's actually, oddly enough, it's in the lock position, but good luck finding the key for it. It's actually, this was backwards. It goes like this. So that might even be one of those deals where it's such an old type of lock that almost anything will pick it. Maybe not. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to check that that little honey hole underneath the bottom drawer where stuff sometimes falls out. So it's got these really neat kind of pulls, and you can't really tell because it's so dark from age, but this is actually really nice oak. It's got nice grain. I can see it underneath all this grime. So let's see what we got starting in the top right drawer here. I'll just give you a quick look at that front again. These neat pulls. Top right drawer. Don't look like anything to really get excited about. There's a tiny little angle plate somebody made. Got a precision grind on it. There's another one of these little homemade gauge blocks. A couple of those in here. I wonder what that is. That's the only thing of any value in here, really. That and a screw. Next drawer down. Another one of these piloted bits. A Brown and Sharp center gauge. First sign of life out of this box. I'm kind of curious about that little cone right there. Alright, next drawer, I want to go back in. Something must have shifted in this next drawer down. And it did. That's a little tiny end mill. Drill bit. That is a... Well, that's a rod from a surface gauge, a really small one. I think I might have one somewhere in this lot. No markings on it, but that's sure what it looks like. This is a stamp of a little Scotty dog. Look at that thing. A Burr. Key seat cutter. Ooh, that's solid carbide. I can tell just by the weight. Another Burr. Not a Raymond Burr either. This is a very early scale. It's got a patent date on the back of 1887. It says Providence, Rhode Island, which would make me think Brown and Sharp. But to the left of it, I can kind of make out that it looks like it says D.B&S. So this might be early enough that it predates Brown and Sharp. The company was formed in 1833 by David Brown and his son, Joseph Brown. The elder Brown retired in 1841, and the younger Brown formed a partnership with Lucian Sharp in 1853, giving the company its name. So that's where Brown and Sharp came from. So, given the patent date on this, which again is 1887, so that's after the formation of Brown and Sharp, I'm going to guess that maybe this was marked D, B, and S as a nod to the founder, David Brown. So that might have a collectible value to someone. Another reamer, another screw. 60 degree, homemade 60 degree gauge. Oh! Look at that. Easily could have just quickly overlooked that. That is an adjustable parallel, an itty bitty one. I can just make out the number on it, just barely. I'm going to have to research it to figure out if it's a Starrett or not. This is a 154A. Very old one. All right, top drawer left side. Key seat cutter, carriage bolt, end mill, key seat cutter. 1955 double die obverse. No, definitely, definitely not that. It's got the Lincoln Memorial on the 1978. It actually still has some. Oh, it's a really nice strike. Really deep strike. Oh, look at that pretty one. Still got mint luster to it. Yeah, it's only an 82. I was in high school then. Tap, tap, tap. 1969. That's it. Last of the small draws. This is the slightly deeper one. Got some serious. Like they say, carbide's brittle. I just accidentally dropped that drill bit on the floor right below me, and I heard something go flying after the ting, and sure enough, the tip of that just busted right off. So nothing great hidden behind there. In this bottom drawer, there's only a small handful of items. There's one of these Chapman drill driver sets that's incomplete. Another one of these spacers. Again, somebody had a small horizontal milling machine by the looks of it. Some sort of clamp for a V-block or something like that that I haven't seen. This little wooden box which has, well, there you go, a micrometer wrench. And then another micrometer wrench and just some random, another micrometer wrench and some random junk, except for the fact that these little random pieces of junk are actually buttons for like the Starrett back button style indicators. And there's one, two, in fact that's another one right there. So that's actually some good stuff there. And that little nugget right there, that is a little micrometer attachment to give your anvil a convex shape to it on the end. Starrett and Brown & Sharp both made a version of this that I know of. This one's a Starrett. So that's a nice little tidbit right there. Can add value to a micrometer. So there's the little micrometer accessory, and then on top of that we got five little indicator points, various ones. And then what I did spot in this bottom drawer when I first looked at this, what was in this case, which made me decide to include it in the deal when I was making my offer, was these two planer gauges. I just looked at them real quick, but I can now see that this is a Brown & Sharp 625, okay? The bad news is no posts. And this one is a completely unmarked, so we're going to call that one probably a homemade deal. And that's the end of this box, so let's move on.